Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as far as today's topic is been concerned, we will be going to introduce unit number 4, as we have completed 3 units, and your upcoming exam maybe in the month of October, at the end of the month. So we will also prepare for mock exams, that is in-sem exam from university point of view. And even though we have conducted one mock exam at institute level, we will take another practice test that will help you to understand the questionnaires, and naturally your score in the upcoming in-sem exam can be improved with the exam structure. Now, as far as unit 2 is concerned, unit 3 is concerned, you can just view the syllabus, and if any point is remaining, we can discuss on that also. So I'll just share the first syllabus copy. So over here we have, in the last section we have completed non-comparison based sorting method, that was radix sort. Then we also completed bucket sort, and all sorting methods and their complexities was discussed. So in more exams, it is every time it is been asked about the complexities and some logic about a particular technique. For example, in shell sort, it improves the efficiency of insertion sort, and so. Now, the most important point is the case studies. You can concentrate on the case studies. Use of Fibonacci series search in non-uniform memory storage, and in optimization of unimodal functions. Time sort as a hybrid stable algorithm. So as far as student point of view is concerned, what you have to do, we will first scan unit number 1. Yes, participants, able to see the screen first? Are you able to see the screen, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so over here we have to note down the case studies. So what is the first case study? It is multiplication technique by mathematician Carl Friedrich Gauss and Karsuba algorithm for fast multiplication. So we have to study the algorithm and try to implement in either Python or in C++. So whatever you can do, you can take down your own notes, and you can implement your own logic to define and solve the case study. So that is the thing, what is fast multiplication, how to do it. It is very simple process, but if you have only the literature, that is where it is been defined. So on internet you have to search, or you can search various journals which is available for mathematical calculations with the author name, that is Carl Friedrich Gauss, and you can find the fast multiplication presentations. You can make your own notes, and as a part of submission, you can write your own contribution to it using Python or C++. So you have to implement it using Python and C++. Then and then only the objectives. So over here, the objectives are defined. You can see that course objective. Are you able to see CO1, CO2? Yes, participants? Okay, so the highlighted part, that is course objective, is only completed if you are able to implement this algorithm. So over here, that is the most important thing in outcome based education system. When we say a quality education system, there should be outcome from the student. So what will be the outcome? You will able to understand the algorithm, that is for fast multiplication, and using data structures, you are capable of implementing a particular case study. So we have to solve this first case study using the given problem statement. Either you have to give the details and you can write at least 2-page report. And if you are capable to handle a particular task, then what will happen? We can conclude that you are capable of CO1 and CO2. So what is this course outcome 1 and course outcome 2? You can see over here, it is already been defined. So when you say that you are capable of CO1, it means you are capable of designing the algorithm to solve a programming problem. So how to design? The first is identify appropriate algorithmic strategy. So either it is step by step, or it is a heuristic algorithm, or it requires some reasoning capability. Then you have to identify what are the dependencies of that algorithm. Everyone getting this? Yes, participants? So when you are capable to solve a particular problem, then and then only it will be declared that your course outcome 1 is been achieved. समझ रहा है क्या? कॉपी नहीं करना है किसी को भी, आपको खुद implement करना है, and you have to decide whether you are able to design the algorithm to solve the problem, whether you are capable of identify the dependencies or hurdles in the problem, and you have to analyze the time and space complexity. So we have already studied how to analyze the time and space complexity of a particular algorithm. So all these points are been covered to you. So if you are able to put it into a case study, so over here we have the case study 1, we have highlighted it. So if you are able to complete it using the case study, then and only you will be declared as you are known to course objective 1. So your objective of the course will be completed. Now you can see in unit 1 only there is second course objective. So what is the second course objective? It is discriminate the uses of various structures. So upon data structures, we have known that there are sequential data structure, we are using arrays, or sometimes we will use static array, sometimes we use non-static array, sometimes we use linear data structure, sometimes we use non-linear data structures. So upon selection of the particular data structure, if you are known to the knowledge of selection of data structure, you will choose the appropriate design. Then you have to write the algorithm and then implement the program. So this is the objective of CO2. So the appropriate data structures must be selected by the student, use them and implement of ADT. So what was ADT? Which is the description of the data structure. And due to ADT, we are able to understand the associated functions with the data structure and the space complexities. Even the total time complexity can all be achieved if you sum all the data functions involved in the data structures. And identify appropriate data structure in approaching the problem solution. So over here, if you able to solve this first case study, then and then only we will declare that you are capable of achieving two objectives, that is course objective 1 and course objective 2. Yes, participants understood the outcome based system, where if you are capable to do the exercise, then you will be granted 2 grades, that is you can achieve 2 objectives. And if you are unable to solve this case study, then the course objective is not been achieved. Then that student who is unable to solve it, either he is absent for the lectures or he is not attending the lectures properly, then he has to do some hard work. So some some points which he is not able to do will be explained him again. Okay, so we have to revise things because this will come in the exams. What will be your achievement? People will ask, if you learn data structures, what is your achievement? What was the outcome? So you are capable of designing an algorithm. That is the outcome. So currently, as per unit 1 is concerned, you are expected to design sequential algorithm at least to solve the problem. Not very difficult, it is very easy. So you can, what we can say, rephrase this problem statement and understand each part of them. If you understand the logic of fast mathematics, you can implement it. So this is a case study which is kept to you for completion of unit 1. Everyone got what to be done? Yes, participants? Okay. Now coming to unit number 2, again we have second case study and it will add to the objective. So we say the third objective will be added when you study unit number 2 and solve this case study. So what is the case study is use of sparse matrix in social network and maps. Yes. So what happens in social network or map? There may be lots of null values or empty values in the matrices. So when we consider about a network, it is a part of a graph. So when you draw a network or a map, it is a part of a graph, and that graph is been evaluated in the form of matrices. So when you design a graph and implement it as a part of two-dimensional matrice, you can use the sparse matrices. So that is the logic of the case study. So what you have to do, take any social network or you take any input as a map and convert it into a matrix. So naturally it is a two-dimensional matrix, and then apply some sparse matrix techniques for either searching or transpose operation or combining of two sparse matrices, or we can say multiplication is also possible. But as per as the query is been concerned, it is just a case study. Either you should do with the what should be done with the sparse matrices. Any operation you can perform. Now study how economists use polynomial to model economic growth pattern, and how medical researchers use this polynomial model to describe the behavior of COVID-19 virus. So it is a part of the case study. You can take the second part also. It is very interesting, where the economist is using some polynomial techniques. So what is this polynomial technique? So we can say the COVID was in we have heard that phase 1, phase 2, पहली लाट, दूसरी लाट, COVID ची तीसरी लाट. Have you heard this word? Yes, participants?
Yes, sir.
So what is this? Yes, in suppose in phase 1, the growth rate of the virus is 1:10 or 1:15. That means if one person is infected, he is going to infect other 15 persons. So that is the growth rate. So we have to define in phase 1 what is the growth rate of the particular virus. So if we define that there is a 1:15 and the number of persons which are defected at a particular point, suppose on a day 1, if there are 10 patients of COVID, so what will happen if they are in the social environment? So naturally this 10 will be infecting other 15 people. So naturally the growth rate will be in the next identification. It is expected that there will be 150 people who can be infected. So we can say it is some X is the growth rate. Okay, so X may be the growth rate and number of people that were infected is the constant. So we can say there were 10 people who are infected and the growth rate is 15, so 10 into 15 can be the growth rate. So now what happens in phase 2? We will have some more difficulties, that the growth rate will be in some square of the previous values, and that polynomial growth is to be defined at what will be the value of x, how many persons in a particular area are infected, and in phase 2 what will be the equation of it. Either it is 4x square, oh sorry, it is in the 4x square, or it will be 2x, that is twice of that, or it is 15x. So that is the, in phase 1 what will be, in phase 2 what will be defined, in phase 3 what will happen. So this is the prediction pattern for a particular growth of a virus. So you can define it in terms of polynomial, you can define it in terms of some growth rate. You might have seen that example related to radix sort, where we are using the bases. So every time when you have a base of 10 raised to 0, then we have base 10 raised to 1, then we have base 10 raised to 2. So naturally this contributes to a part of polynomial. And when this growth rate is subtracting the number of what we can say patients who are recover from the disease, so that can be a simple offset from the polynomial, that it can reduce the output. So naturally when the growth of the polynomial is then associated with the number of outcomes, that is a number of patients which are recovered, you can get the tentative chart or tentative numbers whether the particular virus is spanning or it is been under control. So that is the significance of the case study. So we have to define some formula based on the case study. You will get this information on some WHO sites, what was the growth rate of COVID, and you can find there are various graphs of that. So in phase 1 what was the growth rate, then in phase 2 what will be the growth rate, and in phase 3 what will be the growth rate. So you have to convert this growth rate into a particular polynomial formula, and when you apply it you can predict some future prospects, what will happen in future if this growth rate persists, and if we have some controlling parameter where it should be applied and how much controlling parameter must be applied to control the growth of a particular virus. You can make a bifurcation for this. It is based on the case study. So that is the significance of arranging the data in a particular structured manner. So over here the structure we are choosing is a polynomial. There are lots of structure. There are already machine learning algorithms defined to solve this kind of concepts, or even there are algorithms for disease diagnostics, but they are using all data structures. But when you have the proper knowledge of data structure, then and then only you can apply that model. So over here it is seen that polynomial model, economic model, say we say. Okay, so what was the model that is selected to solve a particular problem? So that is where data structure has very significant importance as far as computation has been concerned. Now, if you solve, if you are capable to solve the first problem, then it is also okay. If you are capable of solving the second problem also and able to write the notes, then you have achieved the course objective 3. So over here is nobody is going to help you. You have to make your own studies, make your own assumptions and solve the problem. So we will give you sufficient time for these case studies. maybe in the upcoming session we will try to make some presentations related to this so that you will have some proper knowledge, and you will go into the directed path to solve such a what we can say significant tasks. So if you are able to solve this problem, then you will be compiled as you are able to demonstrate, because you are able to demonstrate what will happen in the future, what data structures are useful in such kind of things. So over here it is says that if you are using the polynomial data structures, they are a sequential time, then it is either you can use arrays or you can use linked list. So currently we have not completed linked list. You can use arrays or list in the Python. If you want to implement it in as a program, then very well you are capable to demonstrate the data structure. So that is the significance of CO3. And if you are able to complete the second case study, then we surely declare that you are capable of CO3, that is course objective 3. Yes, participants, able to understand how to solve the case study? So this was just an introduction. After completing the entire syllabus, we are letting you to solve the case studies. So why this lagging time of there? I will discuss this also, why we are giving you this time for case studies. And there will be some presentation on your part also. The person who will complete the case study has to give the presentation. So what it is? It is a part of demonstration. So it is COC with CO3 seems it is a part of demonstration. Whatever case study you have done, you have to demonstrate to your class, and everybody will gain some knowledge from the data structure. Is it okay, participants? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, yes. So your yes says that you are accepted to ready to accept challenges, and that is the spirit of engineers. Then, when they are ready to solve these problems, even with some survey or literature survey and getting information to solve the problem, then they are getting ready, skill ready. So what is the objective of the course you will achieve when you are able to solve a particular problem. So over here we have given you two programs, and in case study 1, case study 2, once you complete it, you just upload it, and you will have to give the presentation or demonstration. They will have that marks on that. So from this point until your examination, I am expecting you to solve the case studies and start giving presentation. So the first part is you solve case study 1, then second part you can solve case study 2. So by the time we will also prepare some good exams for you, so that you will score good marks in the exam. Now let us come to unit number 3. Here it is use of Fibonacci series. So in Fibonacci series and Fibonacci search is one on the same thing, but only here we are getting the upper bound and lower bound. So when we say Fibonacci series has the two values A and B, we have to search within the upper bound and lower bound. If you don't find it in within the range, then increase the range. So it is a very good model, and it is non-uniform memory access. Yes, indeed, over here when we use uniform memory access, then your array is partitioned into a uniform number of elements. But for example, in binary search, we are always dividing the array into two parts, two equal parts. But in Fibonacci search, the array is divided into non-uniform memory access, that is the storage. So therefore, it says when to use, why to use the Fibonacci search, and what is the advantage of it. Now over here it is unimodal function, so it simply means that it is a one directional array or one dimensional array functions is expected. So we can also use team sort as an hybrid stable sorting algorithm. that is a part of another case study. So if you are able to complete this along with CO1, 2, and we will have CO4 completed as the part of the study. So what will be this course objective 4 is simply defined that. That means you are able to understand the principles of algorithm for searching and sorting and choose the most efficient of one for the application. So you are able to choose a particular algorithm which is efficient. That means you can analyze the algorithm, you can search for some particular sorting technique, and in a particular situation where there are non-memory access, then you are using Fibonacci search. If there are equal partitions to be accessed, then you will use binary search. So over here, you are able to choose a particular algorithm if and only if you are capable to solve the problem as per the case study, which is defined in unit number 3. Yes, participants, any questions about what to be done with case studies, case study 1, 2, and 3? Any questions? Okay, so if there is no question, I expect everyone to start with the case studies. Starting from case study 1, you can directly start with case study 2 also, or some people can directly start with case study 3.
Hello, sir.
Second thing, you can all make some groups to solve the case study. Okay, so if you make a group of 4 peoples and solve one problem, that is also acceptable. But only thing is that you should share equal knowledge with all of your colleagues, and everybody must able to explain in the presentation.
Hello, sir.
So what we did, we have 3 parts, that is case study 1, case study 2. In case study 2 there are 2 parts, that is 2A, 2B, and the last is case study 3. So you can choose anyone in the beginning and start with the case studies, prepare the presentation in some groups. Okay, so what is this group strategy? You can make a group of 1 to 5 people, that is roll number 1 to roll number 5. Old numbers you can take if you don't have the current roll numbers. Then you can make a second group of roll number 5 to 10. Okay, so you can contribute or mix with your friends so that you can solve the problem and make one single presentations. So one of the meetings online, we will start the presentations from the student point of view. So until the exams are being conducted, we will just in the next session we will just use this unit number 4. So what will happen every time once the unit is completed, you will have another burden of case study. So first we complete case studies up till unit number 3, and after exams we will also go for case studies for unit number 4, 5, and 6. So you can see by the time you complete unit number 6, you are able to cope up with the course objective 5 and 6. Everyone getting what is the significance of case study? So as you complete it, it gives you confidence that you are capable of doing something. Okay. So if there are no questions over here, I'll give you the code for today's attendance. Just a minute. It is C001. 1 second. Okay. C001 and 22. You can give the attendance for today's session. So participants, when you have completed it, we will make some groups to demonstrate. Not all, but some groups will be allowed to demonstrate their work for case studies. So if there are no questions, we will terminate the session over here. Thank you very much.